Hey, what's up everybody? This is Superberg501 and today I want to go over some new data mined information for Battlefield 2042. And again, this is all going to be coming from Temporeal on Twitter, so I'll have his Twitter linked in the description. And this data mining is mostly going to be focused on the customizations for vehicles and also one of the LMGs in the game. Mine layer options for the M5C Bolt or the Ripsaw, a tracked ground vehicle in Battlefield 2042. And you can see this in the winter scenes in the various trailers for the game. So you have default, cluster, and incinerary. Additional loadout option details. You have the smoke launcher, the smoke discharger, and system repair. So similar to a lot of the other vehicles that have been data mined. The top gunner can be a guided missile or a 30mm cannon or a minigun. And this seems like it's going to be a very quick moving, more lightly armored vehicle. It is on tracks, and like I said, it was shown in some of the trailers. So it seems like it'll be a much quicker, lightly armored vehicle that maybe can do some damage to tanks with the guided missiles and stuff, but is probably going to be more of a anti-infantry and anti-light armored vehicle. So next up, we have some loadout data for some of the aircraft in Battlefield 2042. So for jets, we have the F-35E Panther and the Su-57 Felon. Then for attack helicopters, we have the AH-64GX Apache Warchief and the KA-520 Super Hokum. There's also a mysterious mastery badge for the Su-70 air vehicle, but that's all the information they have for that. Then we have some additional information for the jets than the helicopters. And these different jets and attack helicopters seem to share the same loadout possibilities. So for the jets, under primary, we have 20mm and 30mm miniguns. For secondary, we have air-to-air missile, air-to-ground missiles, and homing missiles. Then for abilities, we have detection jammer, flares, and system repair. So pretty much everything we would expect to be able to put on jets. Then for the attack helicopters, under primary, we have autocannon, light rockets, heavy rockets, and homing rockets. Secondary, we have tow missile, air-to-ground missile, and lock-on homing missile. For ability, we have detection jammer, flares, and system repair. Then for gunner, we have 30mm cannon. So again, a lot of the same thing we see in a lot of the vehicles and a lot of things we would expect to have on a helicopter. And I know a lot of people are very excited to have attack helicopters back. So next up, we have a LCMG or a CAC LWAMG, which is just a Knights Armory LMG. Customization options in Battlefield 2042. You have an underbarrel shotgun, subsonic ammo, grenade launcher. I've added a visual representation of the plus menu as guidance to the infographic. So this kind of shows how a plus system could work with this weapon and attachments. So first off, we have barrels. We have factory barrel, extended barrel. Then we have compensator, Armageddon at Comtech, TACCOM 2-port, and Victory turbine. Then for suppressor, we have 5KU CAC, covered suppressor, and Surefire Warden. Then under a next part of the plus system, we have grips, BCM vertical, Cobra vertical, HFGA multi, and LWRCI. And then miscellaneous, we have a shotgun with buckshot, we have a bipod, we have an X300 weapon light, we have a laser speed laser, and then we have a grenade launcher that has smoke, high explosive, and armor piercing grenades. And also these are all internal names, and I'm pretty sure these are all also using the real world names. So I'm assuming some of these or most of these will be changed when the game is fully released to something that's not the real life version. Then under another portion of the plus system, we have ammos and magazines. We have light extended, medium extended, heavy, armor piercing, and subsonic. So a ton of different ammo options. Then for the final part of the plus system, we have sights. We have reflex sights, fast fire, Romeo 8T, Romeo 5XDR, and Vortex Razor. Then for zoom sights, we have 1P78, Hybrid Hammer, Sig Bravo 4, Spectre DR, Strike Eagle, and Vector Talos. And a few of these zoom sights, which would just be longer range sights, are also a combination of a reflex and a zoom. Like some of them will be able to have sights on the top of the scope, or some of them will be a reflex sight in front of a scope. And then finally, we have some loadout options for the M145 and the T28 tanks. And also it's mentioned that there are around 80 entries for decals, which seem to be another option to customize your vehicles. So it's seeming like you can put different decals and cosmetic customizations onto your tanks, and I assume this will also end up going for most other vehicles in the game as well. And these also have the same loadouts in this information. I would assume they're probably going to try to keep most of the vehicles as being equal. So if it's one tank in one faction, one tank in another faction, that they want to keep them equal in terms of attachments and power. So for these tanks, for the primary, we have 120mm smoothbore, close range barrel, and a long range barrel. For secondary, we have a LMG and a HMG. For abilities, we have smoke launcher, smoke discharger, thermal smoke, and system repair. For gunner 1, we have 40mm grenade launcher, bounce grenades, EMPs, mortars, rockets, and shotguns. So a ton of options for gunner 1. Gunner 2, we have guided missile, HMG, and minigun. And then for passenger, we have spotting and spotting pulse. So these tanks have a ton of loadout options. And I'm also very excited to be using modern day tanks again, because those are some of my favorite things to use in modern Battlefield games. And coming from a World War I and a World War II game, those tanks just didn't have the same options in gameplay that these modern tanks have. So it's pretty much all I want to go over for this data mine information. So subscribe if you want to see more Battlefield 2042 or other FPS videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about all of this data mined information. And thanks for watching.